There's a new trick in Grow a Garden that has people convinced that this fountain has a secret tier. And honestly, after running it, I totally get why. This new method I'm about to show y'all makes it feel like you're absolutely breaking this game. As you guys already know, this fairy event just dropped, and it's kinda similar to the Zen and Bee event. The thing is, with this update, it has way more features that actually matter. And like I mentioned earlier, there's even a way to make this well feel like you're getting the enchanted egg 100% of the time. Before anything else, shout out to those who entered the giveaway in my last video. Remember, it's for this giant rainbow Dilophosaurus with a 1-minute cooldown. I'm announcing the winners at the end of the week, so you guys still have a chance to enter. All you have to do is make sure you like this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and leave a comment with your Roblox username and your favorite pet down below. The first thing I want to talk about is how this event actually works though. For those who already don't know, there's a fairy event that happens every hour. In this case, it's about to happen in 23 minutes for me. They also added this new fountain. I want to call it the Fountain of Power, but it's just an enchanted fountain. It has 5 different reward tiers and maybe even a secret tier nobody even knows about, but I'll get to that later. And the most important thing about this update, the one thing you guys better lock in on, are these fairy points. If you guys can see the bottom left side of my screen, I've been using this method for just the last few hours today, and look at how many fairy points I already have. I have 200,000 fairy points. I'd say that's a decent amount. If y'all have already played the Zen and Bee event, you'll be right at home. But if you're used to the cooking event, this is quite a different beast. I know I already mentioned this earlier, but let's get into this enchanted fountain right here and let's get into the different reward tiers. Now, if we go make a wish and you go show me the fountain rewards, it'll show us all of these fountain rewards. Tier 1 being the lowest percentage of them all. The thing is with tier 1, so tier 1's just going to give us a fairy targeter, 5 glimmering radar, some fairy points, a seed pack, and a crate. Nothing too special. Tier 2 being the seed packs, fairy points, everything the same. The only differences with tier 2 is the enchanted egg shows up for the first time with a 7% chance. It also has a 15% chance of getting this mutation glimmering spray. Now that glimmering spray is going to be really important for this method, so y'all better stay tuned for that. But let's continue going on with the rest of these fountain rewards. So the tier 3 rewards actually have higher probabilities, especially for the egg, but the thing is, it actually drops a probability of getting a glimmering spray. If you guys get to tier 3 and it lets you get the glimmering spray, you guys better pick that because that's going to be really important. Going down to tier 4, you have an even higher chance of getting the enchanted egg, and down to tier 5 where you have the highest chance to get the egg. And when you go down to tier 5, this is when you have the highest chance to get the egg and the seed pack. And here's the thing, you're not just getting 1 egg, you're getting 3 enchanted eggs or 3 enchanted seed packs. What I also didn't mention about tier 4 is you can also get 2 seed packs instead of just 1 from all the other tiers. So if you think about it like this, once you get to tier 5, that's basically the jackpot tier. That's because you get the most eggs and seed packs with the highest percentage. The only problem people have is this. Once you're out of wishes, you're kinda out of luck. The only way you can reset the fountain is either that you wait, or you can use your fairy points or your Robux. But with this method, you're going to be getting so much fairy points that you don't even have to use Robux to reset the fountain. You can just reset it with fairy points and you're just going to loop the fairy points over and over again once I show y'all. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and reset my fountain with these fairy points. Bam. Guys, this is exactly why you can't waste any of your fairy points, whether you have a little or a lot. Every single decision that you make with them really matters. But now, since we're on tier 1, as you guys can see right here, I'm going to be showing you guys how to hit tier 5 on repeat without even sweating. But before I get to the next thing, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, MitchCactus. Instead of trying to trade up and take weeks just to get your favorite pet, you can get it instantly from the boys over at MitchCactus. They have the fastest delivery in the industry. You can even get your pets in less than 20 minutes. And you know you can trust them because they have over 19,000 Trustpilot reviews. The boys over at MitchCactus gave me my own code GIRAFFE for 5% off any purchase. Use it while you still can. I'll leave the link in the description down below. The next thing that's really going to be important for this method is going to be this lady right here in the middle of your map. And that's the fairy godmother. If you go up and go ahead and talk to her, she's going to have a bunch of options to choose from, but you're going to want to ignore everything but the upgrades. You're going to head and ask her to show you the upgrades, and she's going to have 4 different upgrades that you can choose from. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the most important ones right here. So I'm going to go up to her again, show me the upgrades, and if you can't already tell from my screen, the upgrades that I've been really locking in on is the roaming fairy spawn amount and the glimmer multiplier. The glimmer multiplier is the #1 thing you want to work on, but it's going to be the most expensive thing to upgrade. Now, the glimmering multiplier is really important because it turns every glimmering fruit into thousands of points. What I mean by that is this. If you want to dumb it down, it basically means the higher your multiplier is, the more fairy points that you get. And the more fairy points that you get, the more eggs and seed packs that you will get as well. And that's one of the key things about this method. Now, the second most important upgrade I feel like is going to be the roaming fairy spawn amount. As you guys can see, the fairy event hasn't even started. And I don't know if you guys just saw that blue thing in my screen, but that's one of the roaming fairies. Now, these roaming fairies are literally so OP, and that's exactly why I tell you guys to upgrade it. It's because even if it's not a fairy event, you can still get fairy points through those roaming fairies. Now, the one thing you really want to avoid, and I tell this to everyone I know, is if you go to the menu and you show the upgrades, the one thing you really want to avoid upgrading is this fairy event duration. In my opinion, it's just a waste of time. Now, if you want to upgrade your fairy spawn amount, I really don't have a problem with that. But the thing is, I haven't upgraded it yet because I'm locking in on the glimmer multiplier and the roaming fairy spawn amount. That's the next thing I'm going to be working on. But the last thing on your list should literally be the fairy event duration. You're going to get it every hour anyways. But since we're on that topic, once this fairy event starts, there's going to be a bunch of fairies flying around your map. And once these fairies are around the map flying, they're going to go to your garden and put this glimmering mutation on your plants. And as you guys already know, this glimmering mutation is what's key for this whole event. You literally need it for these quests. You guys are literally going to need this glimmering mutation for this quest to get all your eggs and seed packs. Now, like I said, the big difference is if you do the upgrades I showed you guys, you don't have to wait every single hours for these fairies to give mutations. You can literally get these fairy points from those upgrades that I showed you without the event being on. This is exactly why this fairy event is so much better compared to the cooking event and the Zen event. There's always progress happening whether the event is on or not, and you literally have a choice whether you want to work on the quest or not, even if the event isn't on. But guys, here's the thing. Fairies can drop glimmer anytime, but it only works if your garden is built to catch it. If you have plants that don't even matter for this event, then what's the point? The next thing I wanted to talk about is how to set up your garden correctly for the best results. The #1 thing you want to do for this event is run your garden in a brand new save slot. See, this is my secondary save slot. My main garden is actually in my second save slot, but as you guys can see, this left side was for the beanstalk event, and this right side I cleared out for the purpose of this video. You're going to want to have an empty garden so you can plant the seeds that you need for this event. As you guys can see, when you go up to the fountain, it asks you for specific plants. And right now, this fountain is craving a tomato. It kind of reminds me of the cooking event, but it's really not that. And since it asks for specific fruits and plants, I'm going to show you guys the exact list that you need. So as you guys can see, this is the Grow a Garden wiki page. And these are going to be the exact plants that you're going to want in your garden. For stage 1 of the fountain, it's just going to ask for one thing, and it's going to be one of these seeds. Either a strawberry, blueberry, orange tulip, tomato, corn, or daffodil. What I like to do is I literally just go on my seed items and I just put it all in my inventory so it's all organized. And now as you guys can see, I have it all in my hotbar and I'm just going to plant about 2 or 3 of each. That way I have enough whenever the fountain asks me for one. You guys really don't want to plant too much and overcrowd your garden because I feel like that's one of the worst things that you can do. So now that I got a bunch of them planted, let me just go over the rest of the seeds that you're going to need. For tier 2, it's a lot of the same, except that you're also going to need a watermelon, pumpkin, apple, and bamboo. Now these seeds aren't too hard to get. As you move up the tiers, tier 3 is going to be asking you for a pepper, a mango, a cactus, a coconut. If you guys are already Grow a Garden vets, you should already have all these seeds in your inventory. Once you get to the tier 4 and tier 5 requirements, it's going to be asking you for a sun bulb and a glowthorn. Once you get down to the 5th tier, it's going to ask you for a light shoot. Now the thing is, the only way that you can get the light shoot and the other seeds is going to be through the rewards. Now if you guys look at the seed pack, there's a 20% chance to get the light shoot and a 25% chance to get the glowthorn. So once y'all do tiers 1 through 3, you literally have a basically guaranteed chance of getting a seed pack. Whenever the seed pack pops up when you're doing tiers 1 to 3, make sure you grab the seed pack so you don't fall behind. You're gonna want to make sure you have the seeds you need to keep going. So now that you guys have your garden on a new save slot and you have the seeds planted that you need, I also just wanted to mention that you're going to want to plant these ahead of time before the event starts. That way all your fruits are already grown and they're ready to just be mutated. Having prepped the right garden is only step one. But the grind really comes down to how you farm these seeds. You know how I mentioned how glimmer is the most important thing in this update? If y'all can't get it through fairies or the actual event, there's also a way to force it. And here's where this method gets broken. It's because if you go to your crafting and cosmetic stand, you're going to go ahead and craft a glimmering spray. Now you're going to need a bunch of things for this. Now I know a lot of y'all don't want to spend 159 Robux just for this, and that's why I just tell everyone to just normally craft this thing. If you don't want to craft it and wait 15 minutes, you can also get it as a reward for the fountain tiers. But to craft this thing, it's pretty simple. All you need is a cleaning spray, an orange tulip seed, a daffodil, a mango, and some shekels. The thing is, if you don't have those seeds that I just showed you guys, especially the mango seed, which is really hard to get sometimes, I'll show you guys a couple of ways that you can easily get them. The number one thing I would recommend is if you're on a computer, you can just go ahead and get an auto clicker or a macro to automatically get you seeds while you're AFK. That's going to be the most effective way to do this. But if you don't have a computer and you only have an iPad, an iPhone, or just a mobile device, you can still do this. The thing is, it's going to take a lot longer because you're going to have to wait every 5 minutes, go on your phone, check the seed shop, and just get those seeds manually. But who wants to do that, right? Here's the thing though, you can always join a Discord notification group like the Dawn server. That's the one I personally use because they have the best restock notifier and they also provide the latest leaks and updates about this game. If y'all want to join it, I'll literally just leave the link in the description so you guys can get these seeds ASAP. Y'all, if you're not preparing your seeds for crafting, then you're already losing in this event. The seeds get you ready, but now it's time to chase down the roaming fairies that make everything work. Now that you have one of the most broken tools in this game to make this method work, yeah, I'm talking about the glimmering spray. Now I'm going to talk about how to use it with the most broken strategy I currently use to get the most fairy points possible. And one of those methods is the AFK alt account strategy. The only thing you're going to need for this one is an alt account or two. And if you're on the computer, it's a lot better because you can set it up with the macro I talked about. You can get all the seeds that you need for the event and plant it on your alt account. Then you're also going to have the seeds you need to craft the glimmering mutation spray. And after 1 or 2 days, you're going to have so many mutated plants in your garden if you leave it on with the macro, and you can just trade all those mutated plants back to your main account. Now the thing is, the more devices you do this with, the more mutations you get. And the more mutations you get, the more fairy points that you also get. If you guys are on the PC, you can run Roblox twice by using the regular Roblox you download from the internet and also the one from the Microsoft Store. And if you guys have an iPad or 2 phones, that's how you do it on mobile. Yeah, the alts do the dirty work. But the upgrades I'm about to show y'all are the cheat code that makes this actually busted. Now since you guys have all the secret sauce, this is exactly why the upgrade path I showed you earlier was the one to do. You want to do the glimmer multiplier and roaming fairy spawn amount first because it literally just coincides with everything I just showed y'all. And since I do have a bunch of fairy points, I'm just going to show you guys it's real and I'm not photoshopping these into the video. I'm literally just going to use it to max out a bunch of my things. So like I said, I'm going to ignore the fairy event duration and I'm going to do the fairy spawn amount. I barely have enough for the glimmer multiplier. I have 116,000, needs 120,000. So I'll do the fairy spawn amount and we'll just do that one last. I'm going to save 20k because I want to save up for the glimmer multiplier. So now for the broken strategy. Yeah, the alt account method is actually pretty busted already, but this one I'm about to show you all is my favorite one to use. So now if we go back to the list I mentioned earlier, if you guys didn't already plant all of these, that's the first thing you're going to want to do. But I'm sure y'all already did that. Now here's the important part where everything ties back together. Remember those sprays I mentioned earlier? I'm talking about these glimmering sprays right here. These are the most important things to this strategy because remember when I said that this fountain asks for specific mutations. Instead of waiting for a plant like this tomato to be enchanted by a fairy, you can just spray it onto that plant specifically and you can just turn it in as soon as possible so you can grind up this fountain super fast. And here's another broken thing nobody talks about. You can use pets like the T-Rex or mimic octopus so they can work together to spread this mutation faster to all your other plants. But here's the thing too. There's a couple of secret pets that Jandel added to make this process a lot better. If you have the glimmering sprite, as you guys can see here, every 12 or 13 minutes, it flies to a nearby fruit and it enchants it applying the glimmering mutation. That's literally so goated. Because like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to wait for the event to get these glimmering mutations. That's the key to this whole thing. Not waiting for the event to start just to get these mutations. You can also use growth boost pets for your plants. And if you guys don't know what those are, I'm talking about like the Echo Frog, which literally makes your plants grow 24 hours in advance. You also got the cow and the Triceratops. If you guys don't have the Echo Frog, which is I'm pretty sure rare, you can literally just get away with this using the Triceratops. And the thing is, if you combine these pets with this glimmer spray and all the other things I also talked about, along with like sprinklers, that's how you get the enchanted egg 100% of the time. Or at least make it feel like you're getting the enchanted egg 100% of the time. Because with this method, that's how I was able to get all of my fairy points, which y'all saw earlier. I had 200,000+, and at this point, I've gotten over 100 eggs and 100 seed packs in less than 2 days. Now the thing is, there's also 2 ways to go about this. I got these fairy points and rewards doing this the free way, but if you have some Robux to burn, you can just go up to the fountain, you can show the task, and you can skip these with Robux. Now, I don't want to waste my Robux for just one glimmering tomato, because who wants to do that? What I would recommend is, if you do have Robux to burn, instead of doing it when you're down in tier 1, you should do it when you're up in tier 3, 4, and 5, when it's asking you for more fruits and more rare fruits at that. Because the thing is, if you also do have Robux, you can plant all the seeds that I showed you that you need earlier and just hit it with a grow all feature. Because that way, when the fairy event actually starts, all your plants are already grown ready for that glimmering mutation. And like I mentioned, if you guys aren't using Robux, every tip that I showed you guys in this video and the method I showed still works. This guide is designed for both play to win and free players. Don't worry. Now, I'm just going to go over everything I just talked about so you guys don't forget and complain saying, "Oh, I didn't even learn anything." I already mentioned how the fairy and the fountain works. That's the most fundamental thing you guys should already know. When the well gets to tier 5, you can reset using fairy points, but I showed you guys a way to keep getting fairy points infinitely. And that's through the upgrades you do with the fairy. The higher your multiplier is, I'm talking about the glimmer multiplier, the more fairy points that you get. Also, having those roaming fairies upgraded is key, so you get fairy points even when the event is not on. The other thing I mentioned was the alt account strategy, which is an option if you want to go that route. But the main thing I wanted y'all to get out of this video, that's going to be the mutation spray method with the pets combined. But the thing is, before you can use the glimmering spray method with the pets, you're going to want to have your garden fully planted with all the plants needed for the event. I showed you guys the list earlier, and I'm going to show you it again right here. Like I said, tiers 1 through 3 are easy to get. These are seeds that you can easily grab. But 4 through 5 are the ones that you're going to need the seed pack for. But once y'all have those plants, whenever the fountain just asks for the specific plant, just shoot the spray onto it, turn that in, and you can just keep looping it over and over again, because you can get unlimited sprays with this as well. That's a reward option, and you get 3 of these once you get it from the fountain. And if you combine it with a T-Rex and mimic octopus like I mentioned, that's basically unlimited glimmering mutations just waiting for you. And what do unlimited glimmering mutations mean? They basically mean unlimited fairy points and unlimited eggs and seed packs. That's exactly how you get the secret tier 100% chance for the egg and seed packs. But anyways, I feel like this is one of the best updates that Grow a Garden has dropped as of recently, especially after the trash cooking event. That's just my opinion. This is because you have so much more to do, especially with the fairies and the fountains, and you can use a bunch of different methods to get the eggs and seed packs. Now let me ask y'all this, what's your favorite part of this fairy event so far? Drop it in the comments below. I hope you guys learned 1 or 2 things in this video, because I feel like I didn't want to keep this method to myself. Like I showed you earlier, I literally grinded 200,000 fairy points with this in less than 2 days. The fact that you guys are going to be getting more seed packs basically means you're going to have a guaranteed chance at a Wisp-Wing and also a guaranteed chance at the new pets. Let me know how many of each you end up getting, because I know for a fact you guys are going to get 1 of each. But anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.